This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the movie Monster House. It's a fat lady in a house.
Ooh.
The metaphor is ham-fisted. Ooh.
Is it Martin Lawrence or Tyler Perry or Eddie Murphy? Which one's in the fat suit?
That is weird that this is it's a fat white lady, not a skinny black man in a fat black woman suit. Which is weird that we got 3 different versions of that.
Right?
Comedic styling. Actually, if you count the clumps, it's 4. I mean, it's still Eddie Murphy, but there are 4 different, like, it's a black comedian in a fat suit.
Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Tyler Perry.
Well, I'm counting Eddie Murphy again.
Oh, like
he did,
twice.
He did the clumps and he did Norbit.
Yeah.
Norbert. Yeah. Well, yeah, he was a fat black. Well, he was several fat people. In,
he
Nutty
went on a
Professor.
tear with that kind of bit there for a while after the Nutty Professor.
There are 3? No, there are 2 Nutty Professors.
Yeah,
There
and then
might
you
be
had
3 actually.
Norbert.
Yeah, Norton. Yeah, there's only one Norbert, but that's it as far as. But then there's Big Mama, and then Big Mama's house, and then Tyler Perry, who is the
king.
least heavy of the fat black lady, who's actually a black man.
More realistic, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he is, call it the king or queen of that style of humor. He's the one.
apparently, without getting too much into it, it's a real problem in the black actor community. They do not like that. They
Yeah,
don't
so I've heard.
It's which
Cat Williams had that whole thing on the Shay Shay
Cat
Club.
Williams. Yeah, Cat Williams had that whole thing where he's like, "I won't be put in a dress.
I ain't
and
gonna
he
be
didn't like
put
that.
on a dress.
He
can't
he
do it.
did
I
that.
can't do it,
he
Cat
he had that. What was it? I think his last name is Faison, but he's like wrote in his contract that he'll never work with him unless he gets him in a dress, and then he was in a dress. That interview was nuts.
That was a nuts interview.
Sometimes I go back and watch it. And I'm like, everything he said is true.
It is funny how, like, when it came out, we was all like, "Oh, he's nuts."
Well, it's like we thought he was nuts for a while, and then that interview came out, and like he started like naming more and more things. You're like, wait a minute, that did happen that way. And then you just and like as the year progressed, you're like, all this shit he said.
Am I crazy?
happening.
Because I'm starting to think that Cat Williams is probably just very, like, the most sane person? What?
His stand-up has kind of pulled back over the years. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Cat Williams and
Big Mama's house. We're
Big
talking
Mama's
about
house.
a different house, Andrew.
we're talking about it. Yeah, we're talking about Monster House, the 2006 children's horror comedy.
Yes.
Now, in the extended audio, you said you did not like this movie.
It's I'll go ahead and tell you, it's done by the same way they did the Polar Express movies,
Right.
which is mocap, motion capture for the actors. It's better. It's easier to look at than Polar Express. I'll give it that, because I feel like they didn't try to make the characters look so realistic. They actually kind of tried to make them look a little bit more like unique and cartoony.
They Pixar them up a little bit.
Exactly. So it works a lot better than it did for Polar Express for me.
So, since we have no theme song to review, let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Joel, how did Monster House get made?
So Andrew, I did not know this. Maybe you did. But do you know this is actually a screenplay based off of a screenplay written by Dan Harmon and Rob Schwab?
I did know about the Dan Harmon thing, but a little fun fact about this movie, as of 2018, this is the only motion capture film to feature an entirely original story not based off any existing source material. So, because there's no book, there's no nothing.
No, it was literally just a screenplay that they had got together. And
they're like, what if a haunted house was also the person?
From there, there was a newcomer on the block, a new kid on the block, named Jill Keenan, basically fresh out of college. He was working at Image Movers, and he was trying to, pitch a couple of ideas to get a movie made, right? After him failing on trying to pitch a Pac-Man movie.
It's so weird. Like, we could do a whole history of them trying to get Pac-Man on the silver screen.
It's crazy. Like, I never really realized how often that happens, but it seems like they've been trying to do Pac-Man since Pac-Man came out.
I swear, they've been trying to get Pac-Man on a Pac-Man movie since the 70s, like when it first came out. It's weird that we haven't gotten one, but we've been so close.
So after Keenan's failed pitch of the Pac-Man movie, he gets a screenplay for Dan Harmon and Rob Schwab's, Monster House movie. And then he starts pitching that. He first pitched it to the basically head of story, Bennett Schneien, or Schnio? Yeah, Bennett Schnio, who then went all the way up to Robert Zemeckis, who was the creator of The Polar Express.
Okay.
Robert, they liked the screenplay. They thought it was funny. They thought it was going to be a catch. Then introduces Keenan to Steven Spielberg. And from there, they are like, oh, we want this into production. Then it goes to Sony Pictures Entertainment for them to basically start the work on this on August 23rd, 2004. That is like when all of this began in production. Keenan, because of his experience as a storyteller, he decided that he wanted the house to be possessed by a soul. And this actually so this, I would say, is probably the part where Dan Harmon starts getting beef with this, because Dan Harmon has said some harsh things about this movie.
Really?
Yeah, even though it's based off of his screenplay. But Keenan actually takes a screenplay and starts changing it at this point. Writes that the house is going to be possessed. That leads to the creation of the character Constance Nebuchadnezzar. and the house's backstory. From there, they actually bring in Pamela Petala she worked on the script for Corpse Bride. And then the draft is then sent to Amy Pascal over there at Columbia Pictures. Goes through another few edits, another few changes. And that is kind of the quick and dirty of it. I did want to point out.
What does Dan Harmon actually say about it?
So
Like he just
I'll go ahead and tell you this. So Dan Harmon has actually said that in years after the film was released, apparently Dan Harmon received a letter from a woman stating that her 7-year-old daughter was having nightmares because of this movie. Harmon actually writes back to her and tell her that the story went the way it did because he had not finished the script when the studio took it from him, and then started hiring other writers to change it in a way that he did not approve of. And he then stated that Keenan was a hack and called Steven Spielberg a moron.
Damn, I wonder, did you find out what he wanted the house to be?
No.
Did he want the house just to be a monster?
See, I didn't find anything on like what his original screenplay, like what the differences would be. I think they probably just buried it. But Harmon has been very vocal that like they ruined it for him. They ruined his artwork in a sense.
To me, that sounds like that's Hollywood, baby. You know,
That's Hollywood,
because
yeah.
it's like that. That's what happens all the time. You create a screenplay, you write a script, and then it's like, you know, it gets passed around. People punch it up or whatever, and then, you know, that's how it gets made. But hey, maybe he could do what Stephen King did that one time because he hated The Shining and he made his own version of The Shining and it sucked. And everybody was like, Stanley Kubrick did a better job.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, they were like, this blows.
I think it, you know, it kind of goes to show you that sometimes, like, they have to change. Like, if it's a book or like a screenplay, sometimes they have to change things around to fit in a movie. So I mentioned how this was mocap animated. Monster House was the first animated feature film using the Arnold rendering software, which was developed by Sony Pictures Imageworks, and it's considered to be the first feature film entirely rendered with unbiased brute force path tracing.
Okay.
What that means is path tracing is basically the rendering of lighting and like shadowing on objects.
Okay. Nice.
So if they brute force that, that tells me they had to go in and manually add all of the lighting and shading into this. There was no program to do it at that point. That is crazy.
Dude, that is pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's to use the word brute force when it comes to rendering. So there is, I think I know which scene that this happens. So Joe Heder, who played Skull, he tripped over the wiring and broke his ankle the first day on set.
Woo.
There's a scene in the movie where he grabs candy from one of the kids and awkwardly runs away. And I think it might have been, he was like, shit!
Oh, shit. They're like, well, we got to put it in there now.
we got to put it in there. He can't run again. So,
But that's it, Andrew. Hit us with the voice actors.
So the voice cast for Monster House is Steve Buscemi is Mr. Nebuchadnezzar. Mitchell Musso is DJ. Catherine O'Hara is DJ's mom. Fred Willard is DJ's dad. Sam Lenner is Chowder. Maggie Gyllenhaal is Z. And Spencer Locke is Jenny.
It had some heavy hitters in this, honestly.
It did. For their other works, we have Steve Buscemi. He was Mr. Pink, in Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
Mitch Musso is... he's the boy in Secondhand Lions.
No,
You ever watch
he's
that?
not.
Yeah, he is.
No. He can't be the main character.
He
'Cause
is
the
a
main
boy.
Okay, because the main character in Secondhand Lions is the boy from
Oh, yes,
Sixth Sense.
Haley Joel Osment. Yeah, so
yeah.
he's a boy.
just a boy, not
his
the
credit
boy.
is his credit does say boy.
Just boy.
Catherine O'Hara is Cookie Fleck in Best in Show. She's also she's Mrs. McAllister. I don't remember her first name in fucking Home Alone.
Yep.
Fred Willard, R.I.P., is Ed Harkin in Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Love him.
Sam Lanier is Quinn Goldberg in Project Almanac.
Okay.
Maggie Gyllenhaal is Rachel in The Dark Knight. Rachel! Finally, Spencer... Spencer Locke is Melissa Rayner in Insidious: The Last Key. So, let's talk a little bit about the movie itself. First of
Okay.
all, I liked it. And I have some notes.
Okay. Hit us with it.
Point number one, I forgot this movie takes place on Halloween. So us doing it in October is completely coincidental. I just did it because it has monster in the title. And then as I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, this does take place on Halloween.
Very fitting.
There's a audio cop meme that comes from this movie.
Which meme?
Where Kevin James's sheriff character was like, he's like, well, what's the problem, kids? When I was wrestling with a bear claw when I got your call. And in the movie, he laughs, but in the audio that people see nowadays, he just like screams. I thought, this is old 2006 where we can still make fun of fat kids like Chowder because he catches so many strays. Just,
Body shaming ain't a thing in 2006.
He'll just say something. They're like, why don't you shut your mouth, you fat piece of shit? In a matter of hell, even when they're running for their lives, because at one point the monster house like gets tree arms and starts gorilla walking, and Mr. Nenebacher is just like, move it, pork chop. The movie is definitely set. It never straight up says what year it is, but I would have to say it's definitely got to be like the 40s, maybe 50. It's definitely a time where parents don't give a shit about their kids. Because
I would say maybe 80s.
You think 80s? I was going
Maybe.
to even go so far as to say 70s because it's like, first of all, one thing, DJ is 12 and his parents leave before confirming that the babysitter shows up. That's wild.
Yeah.
They were like, she'll be here in a few hours. What if she's not? You think DJ's gonna tell that he's like, oh yeah, she didn't show up?
He's 12. He should be able to take care of himself. Unless he's a little shit and, up to no good.
That is true. This movie is janky as fuck because of the motion capture.
Just like Polar Express.
Yeah, just like Polar Express. It's kind of crazy that a children's horror movie has a kill count, especially for '06. Although they kind of like renege it at the end credits where all of them are walking out of the basement.
Yeah.
But the other kids that have been eaten by this house, they're definitely dead.
They coming out of that basement?
No, it was just the four that we saw eaten on screen. And Chowder, at the beginning of the movie, this is how we learned that the monster house is a monster house, so to speak. Or, whenever something lands on Mr. Nedebecker's property, it's just gone. You just don't go get it.
Sandlot rules.
And Chowder says a line. Chowder raked 10 yards and asked his mom for $1 26 times to get a basketball that is $28.
Holy crap.
Which means he was only, if he was 1-for-1 with his mom and got $1 every time, he was paid 20 cents a yard.
Dude, that's crazy. That's not even like basketballs don't even cost that much nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was hysterical. I think a basketball cost at least $30. It was a special basketball though.
What, signed by Michael Jordan?
Let's see. Basketball. Let's see. Oh, never mind. Basketball is $10 at Walmart today. So that must have been a hell of a basketball.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it must be signed by somebody. You paying $28 for it, let's say in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s.
Yeah, that's like $400 back then. So this movie does have one of my favorite jokes of all time.
Okay.
It is when they are in the house and they shoot the house's uvula, Chowder does, and he throws up. And Chowder is like, I thought that was the heart. And Jenny goes, that's not the heart. That's the uvula. And he goes, oh, so it's a girl house. Just, die every time.
Perfect.
I don't know. This movie does have a charm to it. I would say that, it's on Peacock. It's a good Halloween movie for kids, and it is fairly scary. Like, I could see this scaring a person. I could see it scaring a child. If it scares an adult, they have deep psychiatric problems. But
oh no, a house!
Yeah, honestly, let me see the mortgage of that house, and I might fucking live there. Cause shit,
you could probably buy it for like $1,000. That's called like that flipper. One. That's called a property investment.
There's the sequel to Monster House, because there was like a
the Property Brothers.
Yeah, so it's like there was, talk in March 25th of 2024 while promoting Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Director Gil Kenan addressed the possibility of a sequel or spinoff. There's your fucking spinoff right there. Just them trying to renovate another monster house, because this one fucking explodes at the end. This ending scene is pretty intense.
Yep.
Like, they're in like construction equipment. Chowder is in a backhoe fighting this house. Also, excellent foreshadowing because they just happened to go to the construction site and they're like, dude, that was another thing that I was like, this is definitely in a time where people did not give a shit because the keys to this, what do you mean the keys to the construction equipment is still in the thing?
They live in the safest neighborhood where it's just like, yeah, we don't lock our doors
Ain't no
here.
goddamn way they do that today. Although when I was a kid, there was a construction site and they did have the keys in there. We didn't have the balls to start it to see, but the keys were there.
Was there even a fence around that construction site, Andrew, when you was a kid?
Oh, when I was a kid, hell no. We just walk in. No security, no nothing. You just walk onto a construction site. I remember because my brother fell into one of the holes that they were digging, and I had to go get my dad to go get him out because it was like a deep fucking hole. I don't know what it was for, but Nick, my brother fell in, and I literally could not reach him to get him out. And even if I could, I was damn sure not strong enough. So I was like, I had to run and go get my dad and then also remember how to get back there so my dad could go get him. And just for anyone, spoiler alerts, my dad was not happy that he had to,
I figured he wouldn't be. What do you mean you playing at a construction site?
He was not happy we were at a construction site, and he was not happy that my brother was in a hole in the ground, and he was also not happy that I could not somehow find a ladder in a construction site to help him out.
He's more upset at the fact that they didn't have a ladder at a construction site.
Just one I had access to. I think he was more pissed because this is when we were in Virginia, but I think he was more pissed because he had a day off, and I had to. He was like, Dad, I'm like
off.
eight or nine when this is happening, so it's like. But yeah, that's a little Andrew story.
That's the most dad thing. Was like, I thought I taught you better than that. You should have looked for a ladder. You could have got him
90s
out.
dad. Like if it were me, I'd be like, "Oh my God, we have to go save them." You did the right thing, son. This did win an award. It was nominated for several, but it only won the Florida Film Critics Circle Award.
So just in Florida?
I guess. Also, another few acolytes of this movie. Robert Ebert gave the film his highest ranking of 4 stars, calling it one of the most original and exciting animated movies I've seen in a long time, and compared it to the works of Tim Burton, which I also sort of agree with. It has somewhat of a gothic-y feel.
Yep.
Also, this is another thing, I just looked at it in my notes, but Skull is definitely an archetype of adult and or teenager becoming an adult that we have successfully squashed, I feel, of way older kid who does not need to be around children.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny because it's like he's super good at video games, so DJ and Chowder are like, he's so cool. He once played that game for 4 days straight. And you're like, what the fuck? If I...
My kid shouldn't be...
Don't talk to him. If I played a video... If you told me you played a video game for 4 days straight, I would be like, hey, man, this would be like a hand on your like thigh or like knee, like type of conversation where I'd be like, hey, man, you okay?
You all right?
Like a hand on the shoulder, like, you need to talk about like something. I feel like you do.
I mean, I guess
But-
if you're like a high schooler,
No. Because, okay, at best, DJ and Chowder are about to be freshmen. Skull
so
has
like
a
13,
it's a-
14.
like he's definitely a 24-year-old man. Like, he's not a high schooler.
Yeah,
And the reason they know him is he works at the diner.
I remember Skyrim came out, and I played that video game, I think, for a day straight, but that was just because I had a day off of work, nothing to do, and I was like, I just played that all day. But that was it.
He probably
It was
got
one
up
day.
to use the bathroom, though.
Well, yeah, it was one day, though.
Yeah, his
Just
claim
one
to
day.
fame is he wore a diaper the whole time. So that means at one point, while this grown man was playing an arcade game, he shit himself, basically.
Did he ever change that diaper 4 days straight? You're crapping
Oh
a
no,
lot
he
in
probably
that.
yeah. He's
Someone check that
got a
diaper.
lot
I
of-
think it's full.
you're gonna get a rash.
Mom comes in. Honey, it's time for a change.
It's like that one internet video where that guy is, I can't remember, but he's playing, but his mom comes in, he goes, she's like, you are actively shitting yourself. Go to the bathroom. The play. Anyway, life is a balance, you know?
Yeah.
But Joel, I believe we didn't really talk much about the movie itself. It's kind of, here, we'll do the cliff notes right now. They find out the house is a monster. They find out that the old man who's been, saying, get off my lawn, has been protecting people from this monster house because his big fat wife fell and got poured concrete over and became the house. And then they blew her up with dynamite when they were like, it's time to, move on.
Fantastic.
Cops are involved. There's a babysitter who pretends to be nice, but she's actually goth. There's also an inappropriate relationship with her, too, because Bones is definitely way too old to be dating her. I can already tell that from the get-go.
Yep.
But, that happens in the punk rock community.
That
You know what I'm talking about, people who are in it, okay?
You know,
I don't know what
Just
age
stop.
demographic. I don't know what age demographic we've hit into with our female audience, but if we do have some teenage listeners, let me just tell you this: you are never mature for your age. If anybody tells you that,
date people your
if
age.
anybody tells you that, you get the fuck out of there. You get the fuck out of there now. Take it from your old pals at Cartoon Dumpster Dive. The best
Yeah.
advice you can get while listening to cartoons. Anywho, Joel, let's move on to your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that are in a fancy home and reviews that are a victim of the monster house.
Ooh, nice, Andrew. So this is sitting at a 6.7 out of 10 with over 150,000 ratings, man.
I mean, it's a cult classic nowadays.
It is. This is the 1 out of 10 for you, Andrew, titled, This Movie Should Be PG-13 at least. Put this on for my 5-year-old, and it featured not only scary scenes, but was complete with the babysitter inviting her boyfriend over for beer drinking, him calling her prude, choice language by the kiddos, such as, "We're screwed," and them stealing from a store because the owners weren't there, all before I could turn it off after about 30 minutes. Unbelievable that someone decided this would be appropriate for anyone watching PG-rated movies.
How dare they?
This is the same
I don't know.
same lady that wrote that letter to Dan Harmon.
Probably.
And this is the 10 out of 10, titled 13 Years Later, This Movie is Still Dark. Wow, this movie was really dark, about the old man Nebula Cracker and his haunted house with his dead wife. DJ and Chowder were funny best friends, and Jenny was alright too. Also, Elizabeth and Bones seemed white trash, but I like them too. I mean, the parts when the house... the parts when the house took the police and the dog was disturbing. The house is alive within the dead wife of Nebacracker. Also, it was Halloween in the movie, so I guess it explains why it's like this, but great in that way. But man, 2006 had still been a different time back then for animation. Still, I love this movie.
He summed it up pretty good, actually. Maybe he should start a podcast.
Maybe he should call it 5-minute reviews.
Joel, yeah. Well, Joel, I believe that wraps up Monster House. Any closing thoughts?
It's an enjoyable movie. It's got funny bits in it. I think the story in it is good. It's just if you can get past the animation.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those of its time. Do we even do like motion capture movies anymore? Like it seems like a lot of work for not a lot of payoff, because it's like we can just animate the people moving.
I think the most we do now is like face, like to just get like
I think we do it.
The expressions.
I think we do it for like live action stuff. I think this style of technology went the same way as like rotoscope animation.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, it's cool, but it's like, we have better ways to do this and it doesn't look quite as jarring anymore.
And also, I don't think it costs as much anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it, I think it's, yeah, you're probably right. Well, if you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have the $5 tier that gets you stickers and pins mailed to your door, access to bonus episodes, extended audio, our Discord that has the mega request server that gets your requests sent to the top of the list. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt or send a regular request, you can go to cartoondumpsterdive.com. There we have a store and a place to request. I said that the first part of the sentence. You can send us an email at cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. I check it every day. We are Cartoon DD on both Twitter and Blue Sky. We are Cartoon Dumpster Dive everywhere else. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, we appreciate the 5-star. I almost said $5. We would appreciate $5, but that's from Patreon, not reviews. But we would appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice, so we don't accidentally fall into a vat and then get buried with concrete and then haunt a house or haunt a podcast. I don't know. You decide. Have a great rest of your week.
See you.
This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the fuck. We cover the fuck.
We cover the fuck. What the fuck?
What the fuck?